So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the.
Yeehaw! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Wednesday night, January 4th. Got the Massalorian in the house. Johnny, what is going on? Tell us something good.
Evening, folks. How's everybody tonight? Hopefully this mic is not chippy. Hopefully it's nice and smooth. T, how's the audio? I meant to ask you.
Sounds good so far, my friend.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Evening, everyone. T, how you doing?
I'm doing swell. You know, I'm buffing up my resume now with, let's see, nurse, masseuse, chef, you know, whatever Scarlett needs.
You are a man of many trades.
Yes. Well, that's been my week, but I did manage to get a couple videos out today, and here we are tonight. I got her on the, we moved a couch into the studio here, so she doesn't have to be all alone in the other side of the house.
Good.
And
glad she's doing better.
Yeah, I took her to the grocery store the other day for about 10 minutes, and she rode one of those little elderly people carts, you know, the little motorized ones. And even then, she was almost crying in pain when we got in the car. She's like, "This is just too much. I can't be out and around this much just yet."
Oh, ouch.
But she's doing okay. I mean,
good.
At least she was willing to try and get out of the house a little bit for a few minutes.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I saw you went on live the other night when I was on live. I caught it.
No notification, of course. No notification about your live stream. Swear to God, you're in the top and no notification. I have to just go look because they will not tell me. Even though I watch every one of your fucking videos, they won't tell me that you're coming on live.
Crazy
it's nuts.
Stuff. Crazy. All right, let's say hi to some folks, and then I know you care about answering questions, and I do too. We always get so involved in our conversations. Sometimes it's hard to break and remember to answer questions, but we're going to try and do a little more of that to make everybody happy.
Talk about your video a little bit tonight, though. We should definitely talk about something you brought up that I think is important. Let's talk about the financials.
That's going to be the first thing that I talk about, because I know there's a lot of people mad at me right now. A lot of people like, what the hell is this guy saying? Probably because they've never watched my channel before. Like, nothing I talk about on videos is anything different than what I've been saying for the last 18 months. But for the people who I made angry tonight, or I've hurt your feelings, I'm gonna explain as humbly and as nicely as I can when we kick off here and let a few more folks come in. In the meantime, let's say hi to Shin Kyoko, Doc Zeno, AA Ron, Yuka Frita. What's up? Karen. Good evening, Karen. Are you going to be in the chess tournament, by the way? Juicy Got You Crazy is in. Justin. Jamie Cleveland. Good evening. Buckaroo Bonsai. Captain Likey, John's Touchpad. Galen Grandma Lou. And I want to give a special shout out to Grandpa Barney, because I saw a tweet from him today that it looks like he went to the hospital with some sort of body viral infection. So Grandpa Barney, if you're listening in, just know we're praying for you, brother. And
yes, we are
sending all the good wishes your way. Get well soon. Keep us posted.
Yeah, get better, man.
I'll let you do some shout outs while I light up the stogie here.
Let me get down here.
By the way, I since I couldn't find my cigar lighter, I went and bought one, because I've been using the kitchen torch, which it's humorous to watch on camera, but it overburns my cigar. So
yeah, it's a big light. That's a big flame. Chris Karolek, Gorilla Gardner, Grandma Lou, Stanley Belaski. Hope I'm not missing anyone. Mexican Boss Balls, Galen, Chuck's Bot, J Beebs, Jennifer, good evening. Javi the Great, what's up, brother? Karen C, Brian L, Andrew, Holly, Ed, Jennifer, I got Joe, PDX, Lacked Throne, G Immortal, Karen CKYP, what's up, girl? Shin, I got. All right, I think I'm caught up. Frankie Muhammad, what's up, my brother? Frankie's in the house. Good evening,
Frankie.
Franks.
Hey, Frankie, let me know if you want to come on live. I know Frankie's probably mad at me, and I don't
No,
want it to be that.
anytime.
I don't want it to be that way, Frankie. You know,
Yeah,
one
Frankie,
love,
come on, man.
one love, brother. Let's talk it out, because I certainly I know there's some people mad, and I definitely don't want anyone to think I'm calling them out. I'm just talking the same talk I've said for the last year and a half, and I think really what's going on right now is some people in the community have come to the realization that maybe their aspirations or their wishes for what the CEO is going to do maybe weren't they're not going to happen, and so some of them have been switching the script on their feelings about Adam Aaron. In fact, now they've dedicated their channels to digging up dirt and trying to, shit on Adam Aaron. The reason I'm kind of zen about it is because, look, I've been called a paid shill, a bear, short, many times. People have dedicated videos talking about how I'm against Highcroft and AMC because I've said the CEOs are not really on your side. Like if you're counting on them to deliver you a MOAS, it's time to read between the lines a little bit. They're doing their job to what's the word? To court you as an investor, keep you on board. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when they put out tweets or, Highcroft's now getting on the social media bandwagon, that's all with intention, guys. There's nothing wrong with it, but you just need to be savvy enough to read between the lines is all. And I'm in both plays long. So nothing I say should be taken as being bearish or that I'm shorting the stock. I just look at things in reality. And it's sad for me to see people just waking up to that reality and doing a 180 on it. Like if there's a gray area in between where you can realize they're doing their job and not try and bury them with information that is maybe, I said conspiracy theory, but to say that a CEO wants to bankrupt his own company when everything that he's doing is the opposite of that. I think, some of the channels are taking a little bit too far. Did Frankie say if he wants to come on, I'll shoot him over an invite?
I think for me, because I have a biased opinion, I think it's good and healthy that the echo chamber doesn't become too exclusive, right? Because then it's just us talking at each other. It's the same 5 people voicing an opinion, and we get all caught up. And the next thing you know, it's, where we are some type of cult, right? So I like to get some outside influence, some outside opinion. How are people looking at this from the outside? Because sometimes I feel like we are getting an echo chamber, whether it's in the market with certain stocks or whatever it is. I think it's always good to hear the other side. But with that said, T, I agree with you. Being a shareholder, I hate to step on bite the hand that's going to supposed to feed me, right? That's my biggest. I don't want to make that and regret that later and say, shit, I wish I had taken a different approach. So I'm just trying to be cautious, I think, right now, until I know exactly what's going down.
I've always said, the number one reason I would get out of this play is if retail turns against it. When I see people en masse turning against the CEO, that kind of makes me say maybe this is done, because if everyone's going to give up on the company and think that the CEO is for some reason trying to bankrupt his own company, then this play's done, if that's what you guys think. So I'm trying to provide a little bit of logical approach to it. There's all the evidence is that Adam Aaron has done everything within his power not to bankrupt the company and to address the debt, pay it down. And so I'm not going to echo all the theories that he's working for hedge funds and trying to bankrupt the company. I think he's doing what he needs to do. And I think I laid a pretty good case out for it in my video today. It was, since you asked, Johnny.
Yeah, talk about it. Talk.
I started out with just a couple of bullet points. What is the role and the job of a CEO? And I think if you guys watch that, you'll notice that deliver you guys a MOAS tomorrow is not on the list. But the very first bullet item was really the only important one, and that is be a strategic thinker. Develop a strategic plan for the company. Then we looked briefly at the financials. We looked at the press release AMC did on December 19th, where they disclosed that including the 211 million credit facility, that by the end of this quarter, this Q4, they expect to have cash, including the credit facility, of I think it was 700 and change to 800 million bucks. So if I back out that 211, worst case scenario, they are telling us the cash is going to drop to $511 million. And that is not a comfortable position for a CEO to be in. And so the point of my video is, why now? Why are they doing this vote? Why are they trying to change things up? Well, it is my opinion that APE did not work out. I think that's pretty obvious to most people, seeing how the price got run down and how many people abandoned that play. And he's got to do plan B, which is change it up, go back to consolidating into one ticker and try and raise more money that way. We're not going to get out of this dilution loop. He's got to raise money. And yeah, that might mean you don't get a MOAS, but that's never been a word that I like to use on my channel. I don't give price targets, especially ridiculously high ones. I'm in it for a squeeze based on high short interest, high cost to borrow, and some unknown catalyst, which we haven't really seen yet, and retail, backing this play. Plus, the long-term momentum has been nothing but upward since the bottom in 2020. So there's plenty of good things for me to ride this out, but it might take a little longer than I initially thought. That's the long and short of it for me.
I got all that. Sorry. I just everyone's saying my light is hot. I don't know how I'm having trouble with it. If the audio's good, that's fine. Yeah, T, that's it's a hard thing to argue what you're saying.
I actually heard someone, not Frankie, but someone else on YouTube today, and I was just shocked. He said he doesn't want to do any changes. He'd rather see AMC go to zero cash and go bankrupt with a ride or die mentality than change anything right now. If I got his message correct. I'm
so
like, what?
No conversion, no split. No
Just do nothing.
Split.
Just let it bleed out. If the next 2 quarters we lose money, let it go to zero and we all just walk away. Like, what? So how can you say that? Why would you want a theater company to go bankrupt if they're fighting to survive?
Not one that I own, at least. Not one that I own a significant amount of shares in. Here's the thing. I think we got a raw deal this year as far as, and I don't put a lot of this blame on AMC. I put a lot of this blame on Hollywood because we had a real tough movie rollout this year. I mean, as you said, we went down the last 2 quarters in revenue. I mean, that's tough. I mean, to see that, because the second quarter, when we had good, decent movies come out, we smashed it, right? And we saw, and I think having Avatar open 13 days before the first of the year is going to have an impact, right? Because we only got 13 days of revenue from Avatar 2 in that fourth quarter, right?
Right. Yep.
We're going to see a lot of that in Q1 of this quarter. So that hurt us. And we said that was going to probably be an issue. I think both of us thought that we'd do a little better this quarter than last quarter. But some people have gotten fed up with some of these companies just rolling out this crap all the time. And you can see it in the numbers. I mean, they're hitting you right in the face to any production company out there. I mean, even just in the last quarter with Black Adam, right? A movie that barely made a little bit of scrap on the tail end to cover expenses and make a profit, right? Turn a profit. They make a big deal, return a huge character, Henry Cavill as Superman, and then they bring in a new production team and pull him out. That's not going to help the movie industry, DC Comics, or AMC shareholders. And we point fingers all day long at all these different entities, whether it's the hedge funds, the SEC, but sometimes we leave Hollywood out of it, and they've given us nothing to brag about besides Top Gun, a 40-year-old remake, you know, of a fighter jet movie that had to make $2 billion. And then, you know, we got Avatar 2, which was a blessing at the end of the year. And in between, we got a lot of hogwash. And, you know, it's, and looking towards this year coming up, did you see Tom Cruise did his stunt to jump off the ramp? Did you see that?
That was an awesome video.
That was
Yeah, I
freaking awesome,
retweeted it.
man.
I retweeted it a week or two ago. The amount of work that went into that stunt,
Unbelievable. Like
just
that, he is a draw just on his own. Like, say whatever you want about Tom Cruise, but the effort that he puts into doing what he does with the movies. I mean, in back to back, what was the last 2 months we've seen him with the airplane thing and now the jump, and I'm like, you know, all we need is some good stories, and the movie industry can roar back to life, but we need some help. And I know we're fighting a lot of demons right now, and Hollywood's one of them, unfortunately.
I
So
would have been
we're stuck with the cards we were dealt with the with Hollywood.
I
And
would have been famous as an actor, but I just told them I was not willing to learn how to ride a motorcycle and jump 20 times a day for a year.
with imagine packing his parachute. Jeez. Can you imagine packing Tom Cruise's parachute?
I think you're
God.
supposed to pack your own, but I wonder, he probably had someone paid to do it.
I bet he had a professional.
Hopefully
diver
the
too.
best in the industry.
Yeah. But you know, that just that little thing right there, you know, sometimes it's those little sparks that help you remember that the movie's aren't going anywhere, like knowing that Mission Impossible is coming in a couple months. And look, this year there are some bigger rollouts, sequels and stuff planned for the future. And I hate to see that, you know, retail is again going to have to maybe step in here and take some of the brunt of this because of everyone else's failures. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, we're suffering because of it.
No, I'm not a pro motocrosser. I'm barely an amateur motorcycle rider.
Just
but
the amateur crisis actor.
Yes. I do hope to get a bike though. One of these days. Scarlett said I can never have one, so you can bet I'm going to get one. Just a matter of priorities. Got some other things I want to buy first.
Wyckoff is saying AMC was never about movies, it was about a short squeeze. Yeah, brother, but look at the share price right now. So if you're still holding, now it's about movies. And now it's about movies bring us to a short squeeze again. Just get that everything else out of your head, because the reality is right now, this has turned into something else. Whether it's squeezes or not, we don't know, but
yeah, we all, many of us play short squeeze and momentum trades every single week, and we know the conditions for a short squeeze, and the conditions are pretty good right now with high short interest and high cost to borrow. But I really, you know, everybody gets mad because I don't talk about, why don't you talk about the billions of synthetics and the crime and yada yada yada. Look, guys. Roaring Kitty focused on fundamental change at GameStop and super high short interest. And that's good enough for me. I don't need to talk about all of that other stuff. Look how high GME ran just on that. It was the influx of people like Lou and his ilk that started all this synthetic crap. And I just never really, I don't care about that. I don't care about it. You've never heard me talk about it. And if I get asked about it, I say I don't talk about stuff I can't prove. Now, if you've built the last 18 months of your existence counting on that, I sympathize. I empathize. I get it. It's a wake-up call to realize that nothing's happened for almost, you know, a year and a half, 2 years, despite a million YouTubers talking about that. But I'm not going to apologize for that because that has never been the basis of why I've been in this play or anything that we've talked about on this channel. So if you're mad at me, please just understand where I'm coming from. I like this as a play where the shorts have made a bad bet and that this industry, I think, is going to come back. And so I'm waiting for that good news unknown catalyst.
You know, I was watching, don't ask me why, but I happen to, I don't get the notifications for your live streams, but I got a notification in my queue for a video from Jeff Forbes from a year ago, and he was digging through the NSCC filings for the transparency and all that.
Yeah.
Looking back to that and seeing, remember talking about that and saying how that was going to help us and that would be a big thing for retail. And now it is off the table. We got to comment on it and do all those things and got left in the dust, basically. I mean, that never came to fruition and ended up being a game changer for retail. And not that it's Jeff's fault for telling us that, but that was the intention of the filing, right? Was to address that issue, and it hasn't still been addressed.
There's been dozens of regulations that we've all talked about, and over the past couple of years, and most of my take on them was, I don't really see why people are getting so excited about this. Like, if you need to feel excited about something, I get it, but I have a wait and see attitude, and I don't trust regulations to make any meaningful short squeeze catalyst because they can see it coming as easily as we can. Where they're going to get fucked, pardon my French, where they're going to get screwed over is by something that they're not anticipating.
Yeah. King of Kings says they led us to believe we had a voice. Yeah. It's almost like that, right, man? That's what it seems like. Like that was just a carrot they threw out there, dangled out for retail.
What was that? What did he say?
He said seems like they were just making us think we had a voice. We actually had a voice.
Oh, the regulations, yeah.
Yeah, by the SEC. We made a big stink about it. All of us went on there and voted on it and wrote comments on it, and they didn't end up putting it into effect. So what good was all that? You know what I mean? We got all amped up about that, about the dates that it possibly could be implemented, looking forward to that time. And I'm not saying me and you personally, but all of us as a community, people were talking about all the possible catalysts that would come down the road,
I don't want to poo-poo regulations. Like any regulation that improves transparency for retail, I will always back that.
Absolutely.
But like to think that a regulation kicking into effect is going to immediately strike fear into the shorts. I think that, it'd be nice. I always am hopeful, but I don't count on that. Yeah. Stanley says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous are you at the moment? I'm pretty zen at the moment right now, Stanley. I will tell you, I have no idea how the vote is going to go. And we all know the statistics of what happens after reverse splits. So we'll have to see. But the vast majority of my shares are underwater. And I'm counting more on, at this point, holding on until the economy and the industry recovers. And, that's okay with me. I understand it's not okay with a lot of people. I get it. Were you talking to me? Oh, the cat. Oh, okay. What do you think, Mass, on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you nervous?
God. I'm almost at the point now where I'm thinking to myself, man, I wish I had more money to buy up more, because now if we're going to have a reverse split, I need to have more shares to make up for, it's like, it almost backs me into a corner now where I have to buy more. I don't have much of a choice right now.
By the way, yeah. So if you had to put a number on it, I guess I didn't say a number. I won't force you to say one.
Did you asking about a number of 10 to 1?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous are you?
I mean, God, how much more nervous can I get, right? I'm in the red right now in AMC, so I don't know what, seriously.
How much worse could it get at this point? Right.
That's what I mean. Yeah. How much worse can it get at this point?
I think
the company has to do better next year, which means the stock price has to go up from here at least. So
yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what would make me nervous, Stanley, if I thought that AMC was not going to be able to raise more money, or that they hesitate after the vote and don't raise more money, and I see that they're going to run out of cash, I'd be on a 10 on the nervous scale. But right now, I haven't.
I'd start shorting them.
Yeah,
they did that. I'd start shorting them if they did that. They do that.
If I see that they run out of ways to raise money and they're just
Watch
going to
out
bleed it
below.
out, I'd sell in a heartbeat, even at a
Watch
loss.
out below. Yeah.
But right now I'm just in the camp of, what else can I do at this point? I'm just going to wait for the economy and the industry to recover, and that's going to take some time.
Yeah.
I don't get nervous buying stocks. I don't get emotional buying stocks. I make decisions and then I stick to them
Christian
unless things
Princess.
change.
Christian Prince says you keep us up to date on your nervous scale, Tony.
I do want to say though, I meant to talk about this in the beginning. I did buy some AMC the other day at $3.90, and I bought some Tesla at 109. I still think Tesla could go a lot lower, but I waited a year to buy Tesla after it peaked, and I just started buying it. So I'm in my buying zone, that like 80 to 130 range. So I'm picking it up at moments where I'm thinking it might have bottomed, but if it goes lower, that's fine. I'll add more. I'm not going all in.
Are you holding Tesla long term?
Yes, this is for long term.
Okay. All right.
For the next big up cycle, and that could be 5 years. That's fine. If it goes to 80 this year, that's no problem for me.
Speaking of which, have you heard anything about my buddy was asking me the other day about Cybertruck and like what's the news is on Cybertruck? How come I haven't seen one on the road yet still. Have you?
No, I haven't. I haven't even
what's going on with it?
Haven't checked the news on Cybertruck lately.
Well, have you, obviously if you're buying Tesla, I know you're looking at some of the numbers. What are you looking at right now that's telling you that we're at a good buy-in price? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I have not done the deep due diligence that you deserve for an answer on that question, Massalorian.
Okay.
I know that it's still overvalued even at 109. I'll tell you that. Right.
Okay.
I know that it could go significantly lower than 109, but what I'm also counting on is the retail love of Tesla and just looking at the chart. If I looked at the financials, I'd probably say wait till $50 to buy Tesla.
Yeah.
But so I'm not buying it just based on looking at the financials, or I'd probably never get back in.
I wouldn't be shocked if it dropped down to an even 100 and then bounced. Just because it's a nice round.
I wouldn't be shocked if it dropped much lower than that, $70, $80.
You think so? Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I said that with Disney 8 months ago, and here we are. So I said, what was that, 140? I said, we might see 80, 75, $80, and here we are. Oh, so
someone asked me the other day about some other positions I had. Let me catch you guys up. I had some Clean Vision. That's a little penny stock that Frank was pushing. I did sell that yesterday, I think, at a profit, just to free up some cash to buy more AMC and Tesla. It was a small profit, I think, either 18 or 28% for holding it for a week or two. It's not too bad, but I'm out of Clean Vision now. And so I think I haven't been doing a lot of day trading this week or last week because of Scarlet, but I am still watching everything every day.
Are you saying Clean Vision? Do you mean
CLNV is the ticker? It was a penny stock that's been trading in the 4 to 6 cents range, and it got up to 8 today.
Okay.
It could go higher, but I just, I don't have a lot of love for penny stocks. So I had a profit, take it, bank the money, put it to use for something more long term.
What's the company that makes the LiDAR detector equipment? Something Vision. Microvision? Were they a LiDAR detecting company?
Don't get me to saying something wrong. I don't know.
All right, I'm thinking it's something different. What is that you said? What do they do? Clean Vision?
Clean Vision is a eco-friendly company. They're focused on long-term environmental improvement through like collecting plastics out of the oceans and waterways.
Okay.
So they're working on getting contracts. So it still could be a good play for the future, but they need a lot more contracts.
Archer says MVAS. Thank you, chat. MVAS is it. Yeah, Microvision, I think. So Clean Vision.
Yeah, I mean, check it out.
Are they an American company? Are they American?
They are. I don't remember. But I know the contracts that they do have. They've been getting them in other countries. Dan Man says, "When will the vote happen?"
Today.
Go ahead. You saw a river the other day?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Dan.
Yeah, sorry, I saw a river get.
we're lagging each other out. Go ahead. You go.
Yeah, no. I was saying I was watching a documentary the other day about a river in, I think, either Myanmar or somewhere out there, Thailand, somewhere in the South Pacific. And they had this giant metal contraption. It was like a robotic thing that was cleaning up the river from all the plastic and stuff before it hit the ocean. And, the force of it came so fast that it smashed right through the machine. I don't think it was actually a public company that's making it. I don't know what it was. I just plastic trash that was in this river coming out of the South. It's unbelievable. Like 2-story building high backup. Nuts. So it might be something to hold on to long.
Yeah. I might go in and grab Clean Vision if it doesn't hold in this 8 level. If it drops back down to 4 or something, I might grab some back again. But Dan had a question. When do I think we're going to have the vote? Dan, that was my second video that I put out today. So go check that one out. But the short answer is, I think not before January 22nd. And Dan says, do you mind asking me what's your APE average? We don't talk shares or price average, Dan, on this channel. And I don't want any one of you putting that in the comments either. But at this point, since I've been buying only APE since August, I have way more APE than I do AMC. And like I said, I just bought a little bit more AMC at $390. Depending on what happens between now and the vote, I might grab some more if I think the price is lower than it should be.
Someone says, can you ask Tony about Baba? Does he think it's going to run or will it drop? You are not a fan of Chinese companies, right? Alibaba?
I'm still out of Chinese stocks until we have the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act thing resolved. I have it on my watch list. I haven't looked at many Chinese companies lately, but I have had Baba in the past. Let me see. And there are a lot of people, that want that company to do well. I don't want to talk anybody out of it, but let's see. I did my get out of Chinese stocks in July of 2021. That's when I made that video. Baba was at 281 when I made that video, and it's at 103 right now. So, and yeah, I sold every Chinese stock I had in late June, early July.
The way these wackos are talking on TV right now on CNN and MSNBC and Fox News about China and Taiwan, I wouldn't touch Chinese stocks right now. No way. That place is a powder keg. All it's going to take is one match and light this thing up, and we're going to be in another proxy war. And who knows what China's going to do at that point. CCP has control over all those companies. They're all government state-owned companies. They can do whatever they like, whenever they like.
And the big issue with the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act is, most of the accounting of those companies is not up to U.S. exchange standards. And so they've been told, you need to get your accounting up to our standards or we will delist you. And that's not optional. That time bomb is ticking. And until I see that they all comply, why do I want to hold a company that is facing risk of delisting?
Yep. Good point.
Someone said, is Bior a dead horse? Bior did a reverse split the other day, by the way, Mass. Remember Progenity?
Yeah. Prague.
Yeah.
The city of Prague.
Everybody
city.
was texting me, Bior did a reverse split and it's down. Yeah, guys, if you watch my channel, you know this is not a secret. I'm not a fan of reverse splits, especially junk penny stocks, companies that have no real revenue or years of declining revenue, or massive 3, 4, 5x dilution on top of no revenue. And so not surprising to me to see anything Zila, the Bior, the list goes on of these penny stocks that are just trying to not get delisted because they're trading for pennies. And every single time they go down. Bior will probably be back around 20 cents in 30 days time. It's at 234 right now.
Remember a year ago when people were saying that we possibly could see, well, actually not that up. Well, it's funny because people were coming on here asking us and saying, can you probably go into 3 and making kind of jokes saying about it being a city. But looking back on it now, it's like, we've had those distractions as well along the way that I've been throwing around, and they've gotten put some people in holes, and I'm glad some of that is over. That nonsense, the GTII nonsense, and some of those runs, and not that they were nonsense, but just that the people that were pumping and dumping them are not doing more. I like that that's out of the play right now. That's a relief. If I have one thing that I'm grateful for the last couple of weeks, it's that we've gotten rid of a couple clowns out of here that were just a negative on the community.
Yep.
Hey, Mr. Heedy.
Greg wants to know, Tony, if you're not a fan of reverse splits, why are you voting yes? First of all, Greg, I don't know where you're getting that information. I know there are people every day that
when did you say yes?
There's people every day that post lies about me, Greg. You got to watch who you're getting your information from. I'd suggest like following me on Twitter or YouTube so you can hear it from me instead of the little ballless wonders out there on Twitter who publish blatant misinformation. I've posted numerous times and even said it on today's video. I will not be telling you guys how to vote, and I probably am not going to tell you how I'm going to vote, and I've not made my mind up yet. I'm asking questions. I'm listening to your concerns, talking to everybody on all sides of the spectrum to understand everybody's concerns, and I have not made my mind up. And I also pointed out to you a video I did 12 months ago about a rumor back then of a reverse split on AMC where I said I'm not a fan of it. So for anyone trying to say out there on Twitter or YouTube that I'm a fan of a reverse split, they are straight up lying to you. I have not made up my mind. I've never said what I'm going to do. I'm publishing information. I'm thinking. I put out trial balloons to see what people think, to generate a response and to hear from you guys. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you how to vote. That is between you and God.
You
and not for any. It's not for any YouTuber to tell you what to do. Yes or no. Fuck them all.
Oh, yeah.
What I do plan on doing later this week, though, is I will do a fair and balanced, what I think is going to happen on a yes or a no vote. What will the outcomes be? What can you expect to happen? Now, how accurate will that be? I don't know. I kind of fucked up. I messed up calling what would happen with Ape, but I'm not going to take total blame for that. I will admit I got it wrong. But I was not expecting Adam Aaron to take over a month to start diluting, and I wasn't expecting on day one the massive retail negative sentiment against the Ape. So those were miscalculations on my part. I think if we would have had people support it, and if Adam Aaron would have started diluting and selling Ape right away at $6-7, we'd be in a completely different situation. But that was my own miscalculation that many people were going to come out against it on incorrect info that you could avoid dilution by selling APE and buying AMC. That was incorrect, but they ran with that. And then Adam waited too long. He waited too long to start selling it. And I see people now saying, Adam, I'll vote for your reverse split if you promise not to do any dilution for 60 days. I'm like, you guys, you realize what you're saying. Like, you're going to force him with that ultimatum to just repeat APE.
Yeah.
You're just going to repeat.
Like that. Yeah. Yep.
If he's gonna reverse split and then do a dilution, let him do it at the top, guys. That's the whole fucking point.
What's up, King Ralphie? Chris says, don't think your vote matters. They want to split. Your vote matters. They got to take them into account. So they play a role in this. If none of us vote or you don't vote how you feel, it's definitely not going to turn out your way. At least go vote.
Stanley wants to know, do
we trust
Adam Aaron? Where'd that go?
That's a good question.
I always said I only trust two people, Stanley. God and the man in the mirror. I don't trust anybody, but I try and understand where they're coming from. Like I've said before, I don't trust the CEOs right now of Created and GTII that they're really going to go through with the merger, that they're hiring these attorneys to investigate naked shorts. Are they really doing that? Or are they, do they really think they're going to uncover something? Or are they just trying to keep their stock prices up? I think CEOs say what they need to say, and they probably did hire Wes Christian because they can't publish a press release if they didn't actually do it. But will it create something meaningful, or is that just a press release to keep the stock price up? Is Diane Garrett pumping out YouTube videos now because Highcroft is going to make $1 billion next quarter, or she just needs to keep you interested until they let you know that they need to spend $1 billion on a milling operation? Like, I don't trust anybody, even Adam Aaron, but I understand the role of a CEO. And the role is to not let the company go bankrupt.
Hey, can I ask a question real quick? Hold on, let me see here. Someone said, oh shit, where is it now? Forget it, T. Keep going. I lost a comment.
All right.
I had it and then I dropped it. Sorry. Oh, I know. Barry Electronics, what's going on in California? Can you tell me in the comments? I have no idea what's going on in Southern California right now. Major storm rolling in overnight. Okay.
Dana says, I only trust God and Massalorian's jawline.
Oh, boy. Silliness.
Let's see. Diana says dilution at $50 is better than dilution at 69 cents. I mentioned, that in my first video today, Diana. I hope you all realize I'm being as plain spoken as I can, like a true Texan. You are not getting out of dilution, right? Well, they have APE right now. Do you want a few billion more APE? Remember the formula for diluted earnings per share. Every APE that is diluted dilutes AMC. They all get reported on the same line on the financial statement. So I want you to hear what I'm saying and understand it. If you want billions of more AMC, if you want billions of more APEs sold for sub $1, sub 60 cents, which will dilute AMC, refer to the formula for diluted earnings per share. If you want that, then vote no. That's your choice, but the company has to raise money. So if you vote no, you're saying, I want 3 more billion APE issued in March and sold for 50 cents, and then a quarter, and then a quarter, and then 10 cents. That's what, if you vote no. If you vote yes, then you are, I think, banking on Adam Aaron being quick enough to announce a immediate share offering of AMC at 40, 50, 60 bucks, whatever it starts out at. And will a dilution announcement on AMC drive the price down? Probably so. Not because of the reverse split as much as because I think he'll do a dilution announcement. And that almost always drives price down. Even though I see people make videos saying dilution drove the price up, I rarely see that. But that's your choice. You know, if you want him to sell 100 million AMC for 30, 40, 50 bucks or billions of ape for a quarter each, that's going to be your vote. That's what you're walking into the booth to decide. You're not going to avoid more dilution in this company. And if you don't like that, well, you probably should leave the play. Because if you don't want them to dilute, then they will be bankrupt in a few quarters.
Do you think with this money, let me ask you this, what would be your expectation of dilution after the reverse? What would be your estimate, or how would you speculate they would roll it out? Do you want to go there?
Hang on to that question, because I got
Okay.
this ridiculous comment from Tyler. Says Tony's dishing out the FUD. Tyler,
What FUD?
because Tyler, maybe your first time here, amigo, but I've been beating the drum and telling you guys I've only been buying ape since August. I have way more ape than AMC. Because why, Tyler? Because on the day that my reasoning was on the day that they announced a conversion vote, which I thought would be years from now, these two units, ape and AMC, are economically equivalent, and that the cheaper I could buy ape, at some point I'd get a run up in it when they announce a conversion vote, and I'd be able to sell it for a profit, because all apes will become AMC if that vote is approved. All right. So that is why ape is going up, because the conversion vote was announced, and I'm ecstatic about that. But if the vote goes off the table and the market knows that, well, the conversion's off the table, we're going to be back to issuing 2-3 billion more ape, you're going to see it plummet. So you can take your FUD comment, and I'll accept an apology, but don't make comments here if you haven't listened to the channel. All right, Massalorian, repeat your question, please.
So I was gonna say, someone said here, geez, but the short squeeze wasn't about the fundamentals of the company. Yeah, Trey, that's right. It really wasn't, right? And there originally, but the longer this thing has dragged out, the more we'd have to focus on fundamentals in order to get the books right. If that doesn't happen, then the shorts can just short away, and there's no one knows the better. There's no reason for them not to. If the company is failing, and not bringing in money, then there's no reason for them to stop. So we need to put an end to that. And at this point now, we are too deep some of us are too deep to pull out. So, which isn't always a bad thing, but in this case,
yeah, many momentum and short squeeze plays that I get into, the fundamentals don't matter, right? But usually we're in those for a couple days or a couple weeks, and we take our profits and we move on. But many people did not do that in this play. So now what? You want to keep on protesting at the SEC and or signing petitions on regulations? That has not done anything. It's not unimportant. I don't want to belittle any of that. All of that is important. I am an advocate for market transparency and getting us better information and keeping the pressure on these guys. But that's a multi-year process also. You do realize that, right? Like protests and regulations, all of that. You're looking at years before
litigation.
any of that has, years before any of that has meaningful impact. I'm just a realist. If any, if it has any impact, you're looking at years, I think. So the easier path is, why are we a target right now? Why is AMC a target for shorts? Because of the debt. So the easiest path is address the problem.
Clark said the problem is the reverse split. When not only to have dilution forcing the price down, the hedge funds will short the price down. So I don't think we'll win in that scenario. You think that will be the case? That's going to happen as soon as they announce dilution, that they're just going to start shorting
Well,
the
I
shit
mean,
out of it?
I don't want to give away my video later this week, but I know people will watch it that aren't online tonight. So I'll go ahead and say that if they do a reverse split, it is my hope that he immediately does a share offering right after that to be able to sell into that new high price with a much lower share count. You know, I'd rather him sell 100 million AMC in the $30 to $60 range than 3 billion
yeah.
3 billion
Absolutely.
for under $1. But yeah, typically those type of things, reverse split followed by a dilution announcement, tend to have some negative pressure on stock. I see it every week.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
but then if you follow that up some weeks later with a oh, by the way, we just paid off. Yeah, this is assuming best case that he sells a bunch at a good price. You get an announcement a couple weeks later, a couple months later, that we paid off 4 billion in debt with a 30% discount. It cost us $3 billion and we got 4 billion of the debt knocked off. That's
Now we're
pretty
talking.
bullish. That's
Now we're
pretty bullish
sizzling.
for the fundamentals. And that is what you call good dilution. That is not what happened with Ape. He let it
Right.
get run down and he waited too long. Now, if they fuck this up, if it's a yes vote and they reverse split and don't do an immediate dilution and they fuck it up, I don't know what to say. That is an executive failure at that point. But yeah, if they do a reverse split and an offering, it probably will have a downward pressure on the stock price.
If they do this right, we will be cooking with Crisco on AMC. There's no doubt about it. If they pull this off correctly, and retail sticks it out, I think that would be very bullish, man. If they could pull off some stuff like that, I mean, they're getting 60 to 70% discounts right now on some of these. If they could pull off a move like that, without crushing the size of the float, right? And completely diluting the shit out of us, then we'd have a chance to get this thing to move. We'd have all the right conditions again for a FOMO run and everything.
You know, I've
is that going
seen
to happen?
I've seen
No.
companies do it right, like Cosmos. You know, they did that reverse split and the name change, and then I said on Friday, you guys expect a share offering because that's chapter 2 in the CEO handbook. When you have a price run up from a reverse split, chapter 2 in the CEO handbook says do a share offering, and they did. And I mean, I see that time after time, every month, and play after play. Reverse split or any run up, if they got a share offering, they're going to sell shares, and it always seems to catch people by surprise. I don't want this one to catch you guys by surprise. I anticipate if they're smart and they execute quickly, you should get an immediate share offering. If they don't do one, I'll be actually pissed. But make no mistake, the combination of that reverse split and a share offering probably will have some negative impact on the price.
I think people need to think long and hard about, you know, the seriousness of how long they're willing to leave their money out on the table right now. And it's been long enough. God knows, Jesus. A lot of us on here have been this way longer than we ever dreamed we'd be holding on to this. But at this point, you know, I might not like it. I might not agree with everything the guy says, and I totally don't. But if the company doesn't stay afloat, then the stock's in trouble. And I hate to say that. And, you know, for everyone out there who's going to get hurt by this because, you know, they just saw their shares split. How long ago was that? 5 months ago? We just split from AMC Ape, then dropping 80%. I mean, and then to now reverse back 10-1. That's a tough pill to swallow. I get it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying this in any means, way, shape, or form, but we're kind of just stuck with that right now. I mean, that's where we're at. That's a fact. There's no change in that. And all these ifs and maybes are just speculation. What's going to happen after this happens, if it gets voted through? No one knows. So don't sit there and listen to anyone else and let anyone else tell you what's going to happen. Vote how you feel you should vote. It is your money.
Mass, I don't know if you've been on Twitter much, but I posted a couple days ago some charts, and I'll include them in a video this week. Because we all know what happens to penny stocks, these trash companies that do a reverse split, especially if they do a reverse split in a share offering. The stories are legend and endless of immediate plummeting. But I did a sort on one of my screeners. I said, comparing a multi-billion-dollar, 100-year-old company to a penny stock doing a reverse split and a dilution might not be the most fairest of comparison. So I did a sort of recent splits in the last, say, 2-3 years of companies with a float, with a market cap over $1 billion. And I found quite a few examples of these companies that they went down initially after the announcement, and then some of them went up 9x.
Really?
And I'll feature those in a video later this week. Again, I'm not saying that every reverse split that happens. I'm just saying every reverse split is relative to the fundamentals of the company itself, and if they do they do with that money after the reverse split. None of the examples that I can recall after the reverse split immediately shot up, right? But as I looked out months or a year or two, some of them have done extremely well.
Okay. Are you seeing the private chat up on your top screens right now? Is that how you're having to look up there? Is that where your private chat's coming up?
I'm looking at Ortex over here right now. I just wanted to see AMC short interest right now is 21%. Cost to borrow is 84%. At Interactive Brokers, cost to borrow average is 189%. All right. I see your comment. Old Doge has a question about credit cards and popcorn. I'm not going to try and search it out. Do you remember what the question said?
Yeah, he was just asking, shouldn't we have that rolled out before they do anything like this? And I think absolutely. If there's not popcorn in stores before you do this, I think that's a big mistake. I think rolling out popcorn in stores is a huge boost. They'll probably get news about it. It'll make maybe some local news. I'm sure it'll be on some of the shows. And can I just say, I have to say this real quick. I was watching some recap of, and this is going to go a little bit off base, but I was watching a recap of 2022 and Kramer going on talking about how Sam Bankman-Fried is the next JP Morgan. That makes me so sexy and stuff like that. And knowing that there's a good chance that whoever was writing up these things for them to say that day knew very well that FTX was a big scam, or at least never did their DD to look into it to see it's not what it is. I mean, they're journalists. This is supposed to be their job, right? And they're out there praising this guy who's one of the biggest fraud and crypto schemers in the history of the world, who, could be a big fall guy so that, they can crack down on crypto. But any way you cut it and slice it, Jim Cramer should not be on TV anymore talking about goddamn stocks. Seriously. Don't talk about the economy anymore or the stock market. Because, he should have been fired 15 years ago. I'm sorry. But, Old Doge, so don't you think that's a good idea that we should at least get that announcement at least, or maybe, get an idea? Because that revenue from the credit card is going to take a little while for AMC to see any true money from that, right? But the popcorn... that gets sold as soon as it gets onto the shelf, right? So it's a little different.
Yeah, I can't remember where I was talking about this a couple days ago, if it was on a space call or in the Discord or on a video, but I did mention that it would be really convenient timing to buffer the potential negative news of a reverse split and a share offering to have some good news come out at the same time, like popcorn is hitting the shelves.
Yes,
because as much as people want to say that's a nothing burger, poo-poo on it. Look, if they make any incremental revenue off of popcorn and credit cards, that's better than doing nothing. And for all the people that say Adam Aaron wants to bankrupt the company, I mean, how can you argue with the fact that he is taking tangible steps to create additional revenue sources that are not going to be zero? So the timing, if they could get that around the time of the reverse split, if it's a yes vote, that would be a good time to drop that to buffer the negative sentiment of the reverse split.
Roseanne says YouTubers have been the biggest divider and users of FUD. Yeah, we've had some issues with that, right, Roseanne? But some of that has been washed away by the tides of time.
Hey, Massalorian, I had a hilarious comment today when I put out my first AMC video, I think in a month or two, and someone said, "Tony, you're just covering AMC to bank off of the community." Like, why are you wait? My video every 30 to 60 days is really showing that I'm trying to bank off this community. Why don't you guys focus on the ones who are putting out all this drama 2, 5, 10 times a day? Those are the ones that you should be focusing on for banking off of the community. I barely talk about AMC unless you guys ask me questions.
I'm going back to look how many videos I uploaded in December. I think it's under 6. Actually, it's 3. I uploaded
Since
3
December?
videos in December. Yeah, 3 videos.
Were they AMC specific?
Let's see. I'll tell you right now. One was about AMC. One was about the release of Avatar, and one was Where is Lou? 3 videos. So
Blazon's in the house.
Someone
What's
was saying
up,
that the other
Blazon?
day, like, "Oh, you guys are making clickbait." I'm like, "Really? Clickbait?" I'm like, and you got to put videos out to make them clickbait. So
Right.
I'm gonna stop there.
Proud Ma's in the house. Kathy N is in the house. What's up, Kathy? Kathy, by the way, I mentioned the chess tournament earlier. Super Steven, one of the companies he just started is an online chess academy, online and physical. But he organized a tournament, and Kathy N is my opponent for the first round.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Where do you guys play that? Discord?
Steven has a whole website set up, so it's using I think freechess.com. But he's giving out some prizes. It was $6 to enter. I'm sure I'll be the first person losing out of the brackets because I haven't played chess since high school. But I haven't played since high school, so like 90 years ago. MC, what's up, brother? Thank you for helping keep the light bills paid. Do appreciate you.
Thanks, MC, brother. So you're playing Karen in
I'm playing Kathy
N. Okay.
I see Steven just joined in. Maybe Steven is Karen in the tournament?
You're muted. Audio.
Okay, testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Is Karen in the tournament also, or just Kathy?
Karen? You're talking about our Karen in the Discord? In chess tournament? No, she's not.
Okay.
But we just locked it up today. We have 14 people in there. So hopefully on the next one.
Yeah, if you guys are interested in that, hit me up in the comments or hit Super Steven up. His channel is Just Another Ape, and his chess website is, what is it, Red Lion Chess Academy? Is that right?
That's right. Yep. Pretty much hold on, I'm trying to adjust my camera real quick. But all of us, we play casual chess just to pass the time. And during the down market, it's been hard, I guess, psychologically for us and a lot of people. And it's just been kind of like our go-to game. and I'm giving away prizes in a tournament for, I believe the first place prize is a $40 AMC gift card.
Very nice.
We're going to continue to do these tournaments. I'm sure you've heard of Sammy Boy 22.
Sammy
He's
Boy.
the one who screamed at me about the tournament. He's like, we got to do this. So I'm like, all right, let's do it.
I'm doing it just to be part of the team, but I guarantee I'll be out in one of the first brackets. So Kathy, I hope you win. You probably will win. But I used to play a little bit in high school and read some chess strategy books, but God, man, that was decades ago. So
Nice.
I'm may as well consider me a noob.
Master Lauren,
point.
you're
Are you
invited
good,
too
Steven?
anytime.
Are you good,
Steven's
Steven?
ranked. He's ranked nationally.
What?
Yeah,
Get out.
I'm pretty serious about it.
Wow.
I teach chess professionally at elementary schools here in Las Vegas. So that's kind of what I do outside of our AMC talk and do other things like that. But
told me
I
that
really
before.
enjoy it. But you're always welcome, Master Lauren.
I would love to learn how to play. I don't know if I have the patience for it or the attention span. But I think I could do it. If I can sit through a 3-hour, 4-hour movie, I can play chess, I guess, right?
Yeah. If you
I'm
can
sure I
sit
could.
through Avatar, you can do it.
There you go. All right. I could do it then. All right. I'm going to check it out. What is it? Just an 8-person tournament? Is this just a small thing or what you guys are
right
doing?
now, it's 14 people, actually.
14,
round robin
okay.
elimination. Yeah. And winner gets the AMC prizes. And I'm looking at getting some merch too to give out also. So
Someone said Scavenger's in the chat. I didn't see his name, but
Hey, Scavenger.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a trick, but I did send him an invite on Twitter DM.
I told him that too. I told him that we were going on tonight. Mr. Simon says, forget it. He's out of control. What are you talking about, bro?
You guys see we're about to cross 1.5 billion in worldwide for Avatar.
1.5. I saw 1.3 last night.
That was last night. We're at 1.5 near now.
I'm going to pull the chart up and put it on a screen share.
Yeah,
give me a second and I'll pull it up.
Things move quick in Avatar land, man. This movie is going crazy in China. Billion. That's really what's driving this. We made $37 million last weekend alone in China. So,
dude, that's why Disney is killing us when these markets are getting shut out. That's 1.3 billion people are not out these movies. That's killing us, man. That's a huge revenue source that we're getting chopped out under the at our kneecaps on. Pisses me off.
Yep. And I also want to tell you guys something too. So there's a new model that streamers are streaming services are testing out right now. It's the send a movie to AMC or a theatrical release first, like Glass Onion, and then see how it does in the theaters, pull it, and then throw it on streaming. And people were skeptical about it at first, but it's actually doing extremely well. Glass Onion was the #3 highest viewed movie ever on Netflix, and it premiered in the theater first. And people are saying that it was because it was in theaters that generated so much hype rather than just going straight to Netflix.
Okay. Okay.
This is saying worldwide box office for Avatar 1.47 billion, and Top Gun Maverick in its totality, all of its run, has done 1.48 billion. So in 3 weeks, Avatar's caught up now to Top Gun Maverick.
It's incredible.
Yeah, don't forget.
I mean,
we're gonna have you cut over 2 quarters, so we're gonna take a
That's
piece
what's exciting.
For this quarter. Yeah.
That's what's exciting to me. Like we get this carryover into January, which normally Q1's a slow month. And then we got Megan coming next, which I think is going to be pretty good. I hope.
There's really good early reviews on Megan. So, I mean, it's a January scary movie, but the reviews are good.
Hey, Steven, someone brings up a good point.
Yep.
Megan, yeah. Steven, are you in the chess tournament?
No, I'm only hosting it.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
So you're saying we have a chance?
Oh yeah, that's the whole point. It's
welcoming
beginners. Everyone's a beginner in the tournament. So it's just an all good fun to pass the time from AMC. I need to get one of those hats, Tony, so I can give that out too.
Which hat?
The AMC hat.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
thought you meant a light hat.
Oh, that reminds me, someone in Canada, and Hallie, Colin, welcome to you in Canada. I saw your comment. Someone in Canada sent me a DM and asked me to get them a AMC hat, and if they're still available, and send it up there. So thank you for reminding me about the hats. Clark is asking, getting different answers on ape. Go ahead. What?
I'm sorry. I was saying, speaking of which, do you know if the Odeon theaters that are in Canada are owned by AMC?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
I thought Odeon was UK only, but that shows you how little I know about Odeon. Maybe Hallie says they are not. They are not owned by AMC. All right, getting to Clark's question, he says he's getting different.
Same name, I guess.
Clark says he's getting different answers on ape shares converting to AMC shares. Clark, I know there are people putting out misinformation videos because they don't understand what a preferred share is. Or I watched one video where the guy, he read the entire sentence about ape ape is 1/100th, and then he didn't finish reading it of a preferred share. Like, how can you not read the entire sentence, bro?
Oh, Tony, they're getting it mixed up with the 1/100th of a preferred. That's what they're mixing it up
because
with.
they didn't read the entire sentence, and they didn't bother to look up what a preferred share is. They just, that God came to them in a dream. I'm not making this shit up. I wish I would. This is the video quality we have out there. Right? God came to me in a dream and told me that ape is not worth the same as AMC. This is your YouTube covering AMC right now. This is not a joke. Goodness. And yes, preferred shares, if you look them up, they're worth 100 100x a common share. So one preferred equals 100 AMC. So when they filed the paperwork to create ape with the Secretary of State of Delaware, and this is all in filed documentation. You guys can go read. If you ever have any questions, just read the company filings. Please don't go by what YouTubers are saying. You guys, most of you I know can read. Stop listening to what people are saying, especially if it doesn't sound right. Go look it up yourself. You will be a better investor in the long run if you learn how to look stuff up. But preferred share is 100 AMC in value. So they divided it by 100 to create ape, and therefore one ape is equivalent to one AMC, and each ape has one vote because preferred shares have 100 votes.
Yeah, that's easy to get mixed up, Tony, because one preferred share is 100 common.
It is easy to get mixed up. I'll grant you that. And I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but we're in January. Like, you've had since the beginning of August to go read a document. If you're on YouTube, that's like the minimum level that I expect you to do before you make a video, is know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, just know they're equal. Don't say one's better than the other. They're all equal. It's all going to go back into the same box anyway. So, Tony, what topics did you cover tonight?
We've been kind of mostly just answering questions. Talked briefly about the two videos that I put out. One, why now? Why is Adam Aaron trying to do a reverse split vote now? We talked about that. You already know, Stephen. Yeah. You're in the Discord. We talk about this every day on the Discord.
Yeah.
And we talk about it. Nothing that I say on video is a surprise to people who are in my Discord. But the other thing, the second video that I did was, when are we going to see a vote? So sometime late January, I think, or after. Yeah. No sooner. I don't think, unless there is a statute in the HRS Act that says it's a minimum 30-day waiting period. So I'd be surprised if it's less than 30 days.
I believe we're on day 70. It's like 76 or 77 since the announcement. So we still got a little while, I think, before they start doing
T
it.
plus. Let's start a new T plus 30 thing.
If you want to drive 8 blazing crazy, just talked about T90.
I'm so glad we're past the T plus 90 thing, but I'm already hearing them say, Stephen,
T90.
T90, but it's T90, but they might need a few weeks after T90 to start cleaning it all up. I was like, good Lord, can we just be done with this T90 nonsense? It was bullshit from day one. It's still bullshit.
The only T I believe in is T plus 2.
I believe in T for Tony Denaro.
Yeah.
T plus 2.
Oh man. It's okay. We're all gonna make it. We've been in a bear market. Shit sucks for everybody. Look at Tesla getting hammered.
Philip says no YouTubers will ever say quorum. Let's say it, each of us. So quorum.
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 All right, you got 3 of us that have said it. Thank you.
QRUM.
Thank you, William. Philip. Arthur says, when has the so-called smart money ever warned the dumb money they were investing poorly?
Never.
Yeah,
Yep.
never. The whole accumulation distribution theory of Wyckoff is counting on retail to do the stupid thing.
Right. I see a lot of articles that say the market's not going to run unless retail sells all their stock. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
There's a lot of articles that blame retail for the bear market. Zara says, after reverse split, what do you think AMC's price will go up?
Well,
it'll go up by 10x.
Bless you. Bless you.
Sorry, I got cigar smoke up my nose. I thought for a second when I was looking away, I thought it said, what will the ape price go to? But thank God Zara said, what will the AMC price go? Yeah, it'll go up 10x, Zara, and then what happens after that is anybody's guess. But most of us know from watching what happens after reverse splits. And if they do a share offering, i.e. dilution, my guess would be, based on statistics only, this is going to piss a lot of people off, but based on statistics, typically when you do a reverse split followed by a share offering, you have some negative price pressure. So the question then for me is, how much money will they raise? How quickly will they do the share offering? And how intelligently will they use the money that they raise? If he waits 30 days to do a share offering and it gets run down from 50 to 25, well, that was bad executive management of this whole thing. The only thing that makes sense to me would be to do the reverse split and the next day do a share offering.
Tony, have you talked about this whole we lose 90% of our share thing tonight?
Yeah, I don't get it. You're losing.
We're not losing shares.
Because
value is changing.
I get it. You're losing 90% of your shares, but you're not losing 90% of your share value. And the shorts are not getting a 90% discount. Everybody's position in terms of dollars is going to stay exactly the same.
Yep. If you're short AMC $5, you are effectively short AMC $50.
The other thing I just want to throw out there is this whole discussion that I've been talking on Twitter about, which is the market cap of AMC. Like, let's just say it's $3 billion right now. And then after the reverse split, it'll still be $3 billion. But if you think that they're going to sell it off from 50 to $5, then you're basically saying that no one's going to do anything. No one's going to buy the company till it gets run down to $150 million market cap, which was, I think we were probably worth more than that when we were showing 0 movies.
Right.
I want you guys to step into my logic box for 1 second. Now, could I be wrong? Yeah, maybe everyone's just going to step out of the way and let it get run down to 150 million market cap similar to when we had no movies showing and every theater shut down. But I
Yeah.
want you to logically, not emotionally, ask yourself, does that make sense?
No, it doesn't.
The other thing that I want you to think about, and get a piece of paper and do the math yourself. Do you think right now that it's easy for them to short it from $5 to 50 cents? And I want you to do the math of 100 shares right now from $5 to 50 cents versus 10 shares after a reverse split from $50 to $5. They will make the exact same money, the exact same profit shorting it. So if you think that they're going to jump at the chance to short it from 50 to 5, then you also are saying that you think that tomorrow they're going to short it from $5 to 50 cents because it's the same profit motive. There's no advantage to them. There's no advantage to them other than your fear. You get scared out of the play and sell. That makes it real easy for them. What was the? Go ahead, Mass.
Said only problem is with 10 less shares, we don't have a baby. She could be right about that. That could end up.
And
right. That's definitely
like I said, guys.
Maggie.
I've talked to hundreds of people, including some that I, some of your fellow content creators that are not happy about the share count being knocked down for that very reason. So I get it. That's why I haven't made up my mind yet.
I mean,
Tony, I get the concern, but also I want you to again think in the terms of market cap. It's as easy right now for it to run to 20 right now as it would be for it to run to 200. And I know everybody's like, but that's impossible. Who's going to buy at 200? The same people that would be covering if a catalyst comes out. Now, Philip, I'm sorry you crossed the line there, buddy. You got to be respectful. You got to be respectful. You don't like the
Phillip. Insane clown pot?
No. I'm happy for people to have dissenting opinions, but when you're just being antagonistic, then this isn't the place for you. If you can have a intelligent discussion without doing crap like that, you're welcome to come back under your other name. Where was I? What was I talking about? Oh, who's going to buy on a run up to 200? The same people that would buy on a run up to 20. If a catalyst comes and buying pressure comes, which you're going to need that. You're going to need something to kick off a run to 20 right now. It's not just going to happen organically, right? But that same something would have the exact same, in terms of percentage, market cap, everything else, the exact same effect after a reverse split because the float has been reduced by a factor of 10.
I think, Tony, people have just forgotten what institutional buying pressure looks like because we've been in this bear market for a little while now. And guys, the money's sitting there still. It's there. It's just not being allocated to discretionary consumer stocks. The money's sitting on the side, waiting for a bullish signal from the Fed or some kind of signal that'll signal to institutions, hey, it's safe to invest in speculative plays. And until that happens, we're going to be in this situation. But the buying pressure is there. You just have to have faith that it will come.
Maggie says, I make no sense since right after the reverse split, there will be a dilution. Which part doesn't make sense, Maggie? And we'll try and tackle that.
I think that was before you. It was right before that came out right as you were talking to. I think she'd already typed that out.
The other thing I was thinking about, if the vote passes, is make sure you round up your shares to something divisible by 10.
Tony, do you know if brokers will pay if it's not divisible by 10? You think they would do a remainder in cash? Or
Yes.
Oh, okay. So they'd sell a piece of it or something.
Yep.
Maybe. Okay.
If you have 1,007 shares, you'll have 100 shares and you'll get cash for 7.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, people keep saying who's going to buy at 50? Who's going to buy at 5? It's the same thing. I mean, psychologically, you look at 50 and you don't want to buy, but here's the thing, institutions don't look at it like that. They look at market cap, they look at how many float, they look at everything else. They don't obsess over the share price like retail does. And I think that's hard for a lot of people to wrap their head around.
It is. It is
Like-
the biggest. It
like-
is the biggest struggle we have right now, getting people to understand the difference between price and float.
Right, like
The relationship. I mean,
okay, take Vanguard for example. They pretty much loaded the boat on AMC at 40. So, and they haven't sold a good majority of their position, Vanguard. They own millions of shares. So, if they can average down at say $50, because you guys are saying who's going to buy at 50, well, it's still the same value as $5. So they don't care if it says 50 or not. They're just going to buy it and average down.
Maggie says, you think AMC will rise in value after the reverse split? It will, because of the 1-for-10 ratio, Maggie. So if the combined value after the conversion was $5 and then a 1-for-10, it would move to 50. But that's just a factor of the reverse split. What happens with trading after that is up to the market. I can't predict that. But if I'm right that he's going to do an immediate share offering, I think that would be a negative on the price temporarily.
Lucy's saying, what happens if you are in fractional shares? They just pay you out in cash, right, T?
Yes. Normally they do.
On
The other thing, normally they do, yeah. The other thing to say, though, about the price after a reverse split, if there were no dilution, it's the same as the price right now, right? There's no like automatic sell-off after a reverse split when you've already been beaten down into the gutter like we're at. I'm more worried about the price getting beaten down after a share offering than just the reverse split by itself.
Yeah, Tony, I agree. I don't think the reverse split is what would cause the price to get beaten down. If anything, it'd be other things.
Unless retail just says, "Well, I'm done with this." They reverse split it, I'm out, and we get a wave of selling pressure.
Yeah. Mike was saying, if you don't vote, does that count as a no? I believe so, right?
The typical way that the votes are worded is if they have a majority of people vote for it, then it passes. So if you don't vote, it's a non-vote. If there's more yeses than no's, it'll
It's
pass.
neutral. Yeah, the question too, T. Do you know this answer? Who calculates the post RS price A1? How does that
Yeah, that's a good question. I wish I could figure out
That's
who
a
to
really
ask that question to.
This-
Because you even heard Adam Aaron and myself say when they were splitting Ape out, we expected it to roughly be 50-50, but it started out more like 60-40, right? AMC and Ape. I don't know who starts that out. I don't know who starts that out.
Wouldn't the formula be in the proxy statement, Tony? Or no?
I mean, well, you're going to have, what do we have? 700-ish thousand Ape right now, 735 million, something like that. So I'm just assuming, I could be wrong, that when they combine them back, it's going to be the opposite of what happened when they split them. So you had AMC's price and you took a piece of it and moved it over here and they both traded lower. I'm assuming that they're going to add them back together and the price of the new ticker will be a little bit higher than AMC right now.
Yep.
But how exactly they figure that and what it starts trading at the first minute of the day, I don't know. I don't know if that's market makers.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's market makers or who the hell decides that. The 1%. Let's just go with that.
Yeah. Would you divide that?
The 1%.
Mexican Silverback says, is he going to follow the reverse split handbook?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
chapter 2.
Either way, guys, whether you vote yes or you vote no, he's going to sell ape. It doesn't matter. He's going to sell.
He's going to sell ape if you vote no. He's going to sell AMC if you vote yes.
And ape if you say yes.
No, ape is going to convert.
But he has additional ape that he can also sell upon conversion.
Yeah, look. So upon conversion, all ape that have been created are going to convert. So 1 billion ape, right? It's either going to be 1 billion or whatever they've issued. I think he's looked at ape didn't work. I don't think they're going to go back down that path of selling more ape. I think ape is history at this point, if it's a yes vote to everything. He doesn't want to sell something for 60 cents or $1. Plus, it won't even be trading. It'll be gone.
Yeah, we're going to be delisted. Yeah.
Mass, we're not going to be delisted.
No, he's talking about ape will be deleted.
Ape. Oh, okay, you scared me there.
Yeah.
Sprocket,
Sprocket,
take it easy.
$1.
Adios to Sprocket. Thanks for tuning in. Wouldn't Ellie says?
We lost
wouldn't
another one. Come on.
He had to go. Ellie says, wouldn't the conversion? Let me find Ellie's comment so I can put it on the screen here. Wouldn't the conversion of ape be enough to cause the squeeze by exposing shorts? I mean, that is a raging debate right now, Ellie.
I don't believe so. I would go say no on that one.
The whole QSIP change discussion. Yeah. The thing is, I mean, AMC, let's see, when they combine them back, it should get a new QSIP. But look, you guys can do the research yourself. Look up 100 recent stocks that had a QSIP change with a split or reverse split and see how many out of that 100 had a massive short squeeze. I just don't see it. I don't see that statistically happening.
Tony, we have no evidence that suggests that changing a QSIP causes squeezing. I would love for anybody in the community to call a compliance department for a broker. Get anything in writing that says a QSIP change causes XYZ. I don't think there's any kind of evidence that backs that.
When things are pushed through at the very last minute, like overnight, like Cosmos did, COSM, then they get screwed up because not all the brokers were ready for the Cosmos change because it was so rushed, and half of them weren't allowing trading, and some started trading and then shut it off. Cosmos was a one-off type situation, I think. Nothing related to a QSIP and name change. It was the fact that they rushed it. But I see splits and reverse splits every week with high short interest that don't squeeze. So I'm going to have to go with no. But look, there's been many, many plays, and I watch these small YouTubers that are playing momentum plays that are pumping up their audience that a reverse split is coming, and now's the time to buy because the float's about to drop, and nothing happens.
I mean, Tony,
but prior to the split, it runs because they're getting pumped up.
If that was the case, if it was that easy to squeeze by changing a QSIP, you don't think every single dying company that reverse stock splits would know that and they would save their company? It's just not feasible. I mean, and guys, if you're right and that's all it is, and you just click a button, QSIP change, and we hit the moon, I'm all for it. But we need documentation. We can't just believe it.
It's going to happen if the votes go yes. But for me, it's more interesting what's going to happen with people being excited. You know, this is a small channel. Not that many people watch it. Doesn't really matter what I say. There will be other people pumping up the QSIP change thing. And if that gets some FOMO going, you could have a little run up into prior to the reverse split. I do see that on many plays, that they get FOMO run-ups prior to the reverse split. So maybe we'll get lucky on that.
We just can't give too much credit, is all I'm saying, to a QSIP change. It's a nice topic, but unless we have more evidence, we shouldn't pay it too much mind. As Tony's saying, there's other factors that we know for sure certain things cause squeezes. FOMO, short interest, high cost to borrow,
loaded options chain,
and
some sort of catalyst.
Low float helps. And yeah, a catalyst that typically it's fundamental and it happens quickly. And it's fast. Speed is our friend in a catalyst. So
can I just correct something real quick before we move on? QSIP is the new ticker for COSM, in case anyone was wondering. And secondly, someone asked about halting. Halting. So if that happens, if the conversion, let's say that the conversion is voted yes on. Let's just throw this out there. Conversion's voted yes, but the 10-to-1 reverse split gets downvoted, right? We're just adding those two prices together, and we're just going to be back to one stock again. Nothing is going to nothing on the bottom line is going to change. Nothing's going to change about float size, anything like that. Are we going to what's going to change if only the first part happens of the
absolutely nothing?
Nothing
will change, burger. Right?
Yeah, same situation.
The reason that I keep on saying I don't want to talk about the vote until I see the proxy statement is because what if they daisy chain the proposals together?
Right.
Well, I don't think they want to do the conversion unless they can get the reverse split.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
Because that does not benefit the company.
No, it's got to be both or nothing, really.
I would not be surprised to see like some conditional wording, like you got to vote for this proposal is on the table if proposal 1 passes.
Right.
If proposal 1 passes,
when has a
then
QSIP ever caused? Sorry, someone was saying when has a QSIP change ever caused a massive short squeeze before? Not that I've seen.
Well, I mean, some people always point that some people have been pointing to Cosmos, but I think that was, as I just explained, a very one-off situation due to the rushing it overnight and all the brokers not allowing trading because they didn't have time to program their systems. Half the supply was off the table. And then Robinhood allowed trading at 23 cents when it was a $5 stock.
Wow. Jeez.
Mike says, why do we care if he sells the shit out of Ape? Well, every Ape share that is issued, Mike, is diluting AMC shares.
At 1-to-1.
And if you don't believe me, I want you to look up the formula for diluted earnings per share. And then I want you to go look on AMC's income statement and see how the earnings per share is laid out in the financials. And it is AMC plus Ape. So every Ape that is issued is diluting AMC. I do not want billions more Ape out there. Not for 50, 60 cents a piece.
So we talk about how we need institutional buying pressure, right? Well, if Adam Aaron sells the shit out of Ape and an institution's interested in buying, they're going to pull the financial statements. They're going to see, oh, you have a higher diluted earnings per share. What happened here, Adam? And then he says, I had to sell the shit out of Ape. That just doesn't look good. And that may scare off investors. So
I hope
it's nice. I mean, if you want to be a Mullen with, 3 to 5 billion shares issued, just vote no. Because that's what's going to happen. You're going to see billions more Ape. He's almost out of Ape. And he's not anywhere near to pay him $5 billion in debt off. So if the no votes carry the day, I think the next move will be going to the Secretary of State of Delaware and probably requesting 2 to 3 billion more Ape so that he can keep on selling them for under $1.
Tony, it's my impression that Adam Aaron has enough cash for 2023 right now, but it's safe to say that as it currently stands, he does not have enough cash for 2024. Therefore, that's why this whole situation's arising. And is that fair to say that we have enough for just 1 year as it currently
at the
stands?
most, I mean, that's dependent on how well movies do into the first half of 2023, right? If we can slow down the cash burn, we can last a year. Yes.
Okay.
Someone, Candace,
Just ask you to pull that comment up.
Candace, I did see Randall Cornett's video. He showed a Reddit post, not really paperwork, that doesn't quite reach my bar of. I'm glad that he's digging into it. I'd be happy to help him work on that. I love Randall. We talk. We've been on space calls together. Someone needs to dig into this, and it did give me the idea that maybe some of us should call the company, whatever the QSIP Service Bureau is, or whatever the heck their name was, and ask them these questions. But someone did a Reddit post a year ago saying that they called them and they were relaying information. So that's at this point secondhand. It's good information to know, but we need to go get it firsthand ourselves. That I would be, if someone I trusted, Randall, Bigums, Pantheon, KC, Stephen, Mass, myself, one of us got the information firsthand, I would believe it a lot more than a Reddit post.
What about Thomas James video? Will that do it for you?
Mess.
Will that blow your hair back?
It'll blow the hat off Tony's head.
I'm glad Randall's on. I'm glad Randall is interested in and digging into this, and I don't think he's going to stop with a Reddit post. No, we all have only so many hours in the day, and everybody's kind of off peeling back layers on different areas. So if he can keep digging on that, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I support Randall 100%.
There's so many things that cause a short squeeze. You can't quantify it to just one thing like a QSIP change causing it. It's a complex situation that occurs to cause that.
Just look
Andrew
back
says,
at GameStop and AMC in June of 2021. Look at all the conditions that we needed, right? Sorry, T.
Right, exactly.
Mike says, why 1 for 10, not 1 for 5 or 1 for 3? Just my guess, Mike. They want the float as low as possible and the price as high as possible so that they can issue more less shares for more money on a new shelf offering or a private placement. Just my guess. You guys have any thoughts, Stephen or Mass?
What was the question is why not 1 for 5? I think Adam Aaron knows we're in a down market. He knows that his shareholder base is hurting. He knows that we have almost no volatility in our stock. The best way for him to cause volatility in the stock, he's kind of throwing us a bone, is a 1 for 10. If he went 1 for 5, yes, it might be safer, but 1 for 5 is not, in my opinion, a big enough reduction in the float. And by him giving us a 1 for 10, I think it's like throwing a boulder in a still pool. It's a bigger splash. Adam Aaron's throwing us a bone here. 1 for 5 is too small.
Mass, any other thoughts different than those? All right. Mickey says, I thought one of the main reasons for creating Ape was to expose naked shorts. How come it seems we never got an accurate 1-for-1 count? I've talked about this many times, Mickey Butters. I'm gonna toss it off to Massalorian if he wants to handle it, or Stephen. But what I've said, Mickey, just very briefly, is when AMC does a share count, they're counting how many shares they have legally issued.
Right.
They're not going in and doing an audit of the DTCC. Are the number of shares in existence different than what they issued? Absolutely. Rehypothecation, shorts, naked shorts. But AMC, I don't think, has access to that information. And I don't know, did Adam Aaron say it was going to expose naked shorts? Mass, do you remember?
No, absolutely not. But A lot of people were saying that, and they got a lot of clicks for that on their videos. But here's what I will say: I don't like
YouTuber
the
said it.
rollout. Yeah,
YouTuber
yeah.
said it.
I don't like the way it was
remember
rolled
Adam
out.
Aaron saying it. He did say
Nope.
that it was going to act as a share count. I don't really know what that meant, and I'm pretty sure I said that back in August. What does that mean? It's going to act as a share count.
No, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said back in August. I don't really buy that part of the press release.
You see, Maggie's comment, the relationship. She's asking about a relationship between FINRA. Hold on. Do you see it?
Yeah.
It should just have come up. Okay. BlackRock, Antara, and Citadel with FINRA.
Will Antara sell our shares after 90 days? I think, Maggie, I don't know.
Tony, what did Medrick do? Do you remember?
In relation to what?
When we did the share offering last year, Mudrick was involved.
They flipped him.
What did Mudrick do? He sold them, or Mudrick sold them?
Yeah, like $34 a share, didn't he? On the way up.
Yeah, I don't recall. I've slept too many nights since then.
Whatever they probably did is what Antara will probably do.
Maggie, here's what I think of Antara. They are momentum traders.
There you go.
So when I looked back at their trading patterns from filings, every time AMC had a run up, it's going down and then you get a run up, I could find filings where they bought puts. And so, and they were right every single time. So I think right now they're looking at APE being undervalued and a conversion vote that they can make money on a run up of APE, either up to or after the vote. I don't know what they're going to do and when they're going to sell. I don't know. But if I view them as a momentum trader, I think at some point, yes, they will trade out of holding those shares, but they do have to hold them until the vote, right? Because they're required to vote yes as part of the deal.
Yeah, Mudrick flipped their shares for $34 and then said their stock was overvalued, remember? Or maybe that wasn't their exact wording, but it was something to that effect.
Massalorian, do you remember when Wanda sold their entire position at like $14 and then it ran like
10,000 shares?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 10,000
Yeah, I mean
shares.
that.
Yeah.
That goes to show you, like, you can't always count on somebody selling shares to be a long-term negative, because Wanda sold and then it ran after that. So that's why
But Tony, they're all working together. They should have known.
I hesitate to answer questions like that because my crystal ball is just not clear enough about what's going to happen.
Let me say something. These guys aren't working together. They're competitors. They want to take retail's money, but they also want to take money from each other. They're like sharks, they're all trying to, whatever shark gets weaker, they attack. So if it's Mudrick, if it's Antara, it doesn't matter. They all try to bury each other. That's why most hedge funds only last 2 or 3 years. I mean, we're talking about like Citadel. Of course, they're a major conglomerate, right? They're massive. But when you're talking about the average hedge fund, most of them go out of business very quickly. Tony, I think a lot of people miss that. They think that hedge funds are invincible or something,
Jordan, yes, I agree with you, Stephen. Jordan says institutions and retail weren't buying. Do you not want to be on right now, Mass?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I saw you waving your hand. Institutions and retail weren't buying APE at $5. Why would we expect a massive offering to be bought up at 50? I think, if I reflect back on what Adam Aaron said, I think it was on December 22nd, the perceived value of AMC is higher. APE was not embraced because it was purely an instrument of dilution. But Jordan, to answer your question, like I've already said in this live stream, generally share offerings are followed by some downward momentum in the price. That's, I think, the most statistically correct way that I can say it. I must have missed something on Scavenger Spicy comment. But there's people that disagree with me that it's going to run on a reverse split and a share offering. I say I'm not going to try and call that. I know what the stats are, and I'm going to stay in the play either way. And you guys can listen to everyone and make up your own mind.
Well, Tony, it depends on what Adam does. Reverse splits by themselves are bearish. I said that before. But you have to combine them with good news, and you have to show that the company is that's the good dilution we always talk about, right? It has to change the underlying operations of the company.
Yeah, my best case scenario, if everything were to happen perfectly, like right after a reverse split, the next day they do a shelf offering and start selling it at those really high prices. And yes, that will drive the price down, and I'll just hold through that. And then several weeks later, I want to see a press announcement that they wiped out a significant portion of the debt with that cash raised at a discount. And then I think you'll see the stock price recover. That's my best case scenario. Other people's best case scenario is it's going to run no matter what. The stock split, the reverse split, and the potential dilution is going to be bullish. Okay, maybe, but I try and look at other relevant examples of what happens, and that's what I would expect.
Yuka Frita, thank you, buddy. Much love. Thanks for helping out me and Tony. And Super Steven, we need to keep the all the bills paid. Jeez. I got hit yesterday with the double whammy because it was the second or third. So Restream and actually Canva and Adobe all hit me up for my monthly subscription yesterday. I'm like, great. This is a nice $80 day for me. Awesome.
What, Blazin? No, you don't think that. I know you too well. Stop.
I don't know if Blazin actually believes we're about to fall further, but even if we fall from 4 to 3, I want you guys to remember after a reverse split, that's the same as falling from 40 to 30 because of the lower float. Even though it's going to feel like the world is crashing in, your position, your monetary value on paper is going to be exactly the same if we fall from 4 to 3 as from 40 to 30.
Well, you know what? If it does, it does. I know that the box office is going to go $2 billion north in the next 2 years. So I don't care. I mean, honestly, even if it was $2.
Imagine imagine if Avatar just keeps on this tear and Adam Aaron starts talking that up, and we have what if Megan does really good? I mean, there's so many irons in the fire right now that they could talk about good news wise. Movie performance, potential popcorn announcement, potential credit card going live, that I'm hesitating to make any firm predictions right now, but the amount of unknowns just makes it very exciting for me. I think there's more upside potential than downside, but I'm not ignoring that there's some downside risk.
You know what makes it exciting? Weekly calls. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Clark's asking me if I'm for the reverse stock split. Clark, I haven't made up my mind yet. I said the other night and during the live stream, if someone had a gun to my head right now, I said the other night, no. But that could change quickly. It just depends which way the wind blows, my friend. I can't make any promises right now, though.
Ellie says, can they short it again after the reverse split? Well, let's just assume, Ellie, that a reverse split happened and nothing else. That would be the same as shorting it today, because monetarily, everything's going to be the same. It's a 10x lower float and a 10x higher price. Shorting it from 50 to 30 is exactly the same is shorting it from 5 to 3.
Let's see what the AMC has to borrow is. Do you know if it's gone up or down?
It's about 85% on
85%.
Oh, you already
on
got it.
Yeah.
85% on interactive brokers, but the cost to borrow average is showing 190%. You want to pull up on Webull and see what they tell you?
Yeah, let me take a look. It's probably the same thing. I've noticed Chart Exchange is very accurate.
I think Chart Exchange also pulls from interactive brokers.
Yeah.
If you look at their little disclaimer. Yuka Frita, oh man, I appreciate you. We love you too, buddy.
Thank you, Yuka.
And I'm still pissed when I was in Nashville that we didn't go to the Puerto Rican restaurant right freaking across the street from our hotel for some yuca
What?
frita.
You had a Puerto Rican restaurant across the street from you? You didn't go?
No.
That's
no.
a crime. That's a crime. Arrest this man.
I blame Scarlett for sleeping in.
Oh, that's good food. Good stuff.
I love me some yuca frita. Yuka already knows that though. and plantains anyway.
Tony, and Mass, both of you guys, is your early predictions on this entire year overall going to be bearish? The entire market? The outlook?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not going to bullshit you.
We're going
Steven,
down.
I'm not going to bullshit you, bro.
Hit the door. It's over. Hedgie's won.
I'm not saying that. Look, I just think it's going to be a bearish market. That's all.
I wake up every day as an optimist. I start out every day as an optimist, Steven, to answer your question. But really, it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the Fed does.
Right.
And wasn't there a jobs report that came out today? I saw some headline flash across that there's 1.7 jobs out there for every person that has a job.
Like, remember that number is bullshit. That number is bullshit. Get that number out of your mind. These numbers are post-COVID numbers. 8 million people technically walked off the job in the last 12 months. So those numbers are just so.
But the reason I bring that up, if that's true, I still see companies are laying off. But if that's true, then you're not going to see wage deflation. If there's more job openings than there are workers willing to take them, then employers are forced to keep salaries and hourly wages high. And that's what the Fed is mainly worried about. So I don't know. We just got to keep on watching the economic indicators and see what the Fed does.
And keep your eye on geopolitics.
I like Scavenger. He says, I'm bullish on my AMC investment. Love it.
Thanks, Scav. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Someone's asking about tokenized AMC. I haven't seen, Mr. Silverback, any evidence that those tokenized crypto were ever actually backed up by shares. So I have a hard time commenting on that.
Tony Mass, did I tell you guys my theory of Adam Aaron's secret weapon that nobody talks about?
Nope.
No.
The secret weapon that he has is, so right now in Hollywood, because of streaming, essentially, they take money away from the actors because they can release their stuff straight to demand. They get a smaller cut from the box office. Actors make majority of their revenue from the box office. So actors are pissed off. That's pretty much how this starts. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon are doing their own production company, so they're trying to cut out streamers. The secret weapon is that Adam Aaron can actually begin to produce his own content, and then he can release that directly into AMC. So he doesn't need to split revenue with Disney or any other production company. If he makes his movies in-house, if he solidifies a contract with these actors, he doesn't need to split revenue, and he's going to make a lot more money.
Who's going to take on the risk of that production company, though, if the movie doesn't do well?
It'd be the company that's associated to the actors, because they're making their own company. So AMC is unaffected.
Okay. I've been hearing people on Space Calls talk about AMC is going to have its own production company, and I haven't been able to figure out what exactly are they talking about.
Oh no, it's not AMC. It's AMC. Okay, put it this way: Adam Aaron would cut a check directly to Ben Affleck. He would make the movie. They would have a contract. They'd say, "You're only going to play your movie here at AMC, and we're going to work together," rather than splitting it with a huge conglomerate like Disney.
So my only concern on that is if it's a flop and we're cutting the check, though, then we're on the hook if it does bad.
That's true. That is the risk, but high risk, high reward, you know?
They better get me in the script review process. That's all I can say.
We'll get you in there, Tony.
And I want to.
I know that they were.
I want some say on casting too. What were you going to say, Mass?
I was going to say some involvement with the production of The Big Short that won an Academy Award for Best Picture back in, I believe, 2017. They had association with that. So they've dipped in these waters before, right? So
yes.
But what Steven's talking about as far as being able to go directly to a small time director or producer like that, that's a nice advantage to have as far as not having to split all of the revenue with another production studio. So
right now we're having a
AMC
resurgence
Studio
in Hollywood.
sounds nice.
Exactly. Have you guys ever heard of A24 Studios? They're a extremely successful small independent film company, and a company like that partnering with AMC would do us very well. But yeah, essentially you're correct, Mass. Good job.
With that being said, we need a revival in the movies because last year was absolutely a big turd with what we got. Besides a few movies. I mean, we had 3 or 4 decent movies. And the blockbusters did just fine, right? It's every other movie that lost that really is hurting us. And it's hurting the production companies, and that's less money that they have for new projects. Now, when you're saying that we're about to have a revival in the movies, thank God. I mean, we can only go up from where we just were the last 2 quarters. Especially we're not even taking into consideration inflation right now. So, yeah, I'm optimistic of movies that are out in 2023 and some of the filming that's going on right now, knowing that they're working on these big projects, some of these big epic films that really turn the theaters around back. I want to say about 22 years ago in the mid or early 2000s, a couple of the big production companies, I believe Warner Brothers, maybe MGM, they were on the verge of bankruptcy back then. And they came out with a couple movies, Gladiator and The Patriot, that they took big risks on, big budgets, and both those movies ended up taking them out of the hole. I remember they were both close to. I remember I was in film school when we were talking about it, that one of the biggest production companies possibly could go down, and they took a couple risks, and they're definitely leaning in a different direction. I think they're looking at the numbers and realizing we got a major problem on our hands there. Our business model. That we've had that's worked for centuries now, or not centuries, decades, sorry. We kind of went away from that and look at the results. They weren't good. So
and time will tell too, like what Tony's saying, like it is risky to a certain extent. And that's probably why Adam Aaron isn't jumping into it now. Maybe he's going to see how it all plays out. But a lot of the people that he's been appointing as his executives have extreme experience in production of movies. So that's what leads me to believe that he's at least interested, but we'll see how it plays out.
Someone said, put Dave's comment on. I'm assuming this is what they were referring to, because I scrolled back and that was the first one I could find. So Dave says we all need 10 times our buy-in price to break even. That is correct. Your cost basis is going to go up if all the votes are yes. And those will be high numbers just to get your money back. But again, I want you to write down on paper the amount of money that is needed to take a billion, to take 100 million shares from $4 to 50. I want you to write down how much money that is, and then do the same. What did I say? 100 million shares. I want you to do the same money 100 million shares to go from 4 to 50 versus 10 million shares to go from 40 to 500. Should work out to the exact same dollars, right?
Should. Yep.
If I explain that correctly. So
think you
whatever, I just want you guys to think about the math and not think about the number. It's just as easy to go from 4 to 50 in terms of dollars spent,
right,
as to go from 40 to 500. But psychologically, in retail's mind, it sounds insurmountable. I get it.
the way that I read that, Tony, is like you're 10 times likelier to get to the higher prices.
Nothing's going to happen until you get a catalyst. I mean, we're a
Right.
long way away from 50, and when we're at 40, we'll be the exact same amount away from 500, because the float is 10 times less. The distance you got to travel has not changed if you look at it in terms of shares issued.
Yeah.
But I get it. I understand what you're saying. It sounds really difficult, but you got to sit down in a quiet moment with a piece of paper and a pencil and do the math. None of it's going to matter if a catalyst doesn't come to push it into those higher valuation levels.
What's going on, Mass?
I was going to say, have both of you guys watched both of Bigham's last two videos, just out of curiosity?
No, but
Yeah.
It's been a week or so since I've watched one of his, but
That's
I think
rough.
Bigham's and I think are going to do he reached out to me. We're talking about doing a live stream this weekend.
Okay.
So I'll brush up on his before this weekend if we make that happen. Grandpa Barney in the house. How you doing, buddy? We
Hey, buddy.
gave you
How
we
you
gave you
feeling?
a shout out at the beginning, and hope you're doing well. Grandpa Barney says, "I will rest now. I have a bad viral infection." Yeah, I saw your tweet.
Get better, man.
Yeah.
We love you too,
we're praying for
Grandpa.
you. Mm-hmm. Yes. That's good that he just popped on. I was nervous. I saw someone else just coming by saying, "Did you hear Grandpa's sick?" So I'm glad he popped on here. Good to hear
He
you.
had the hospital band on and everything, so it must be bad. But we are thinking about you. We are praying for you, and
We are.
everybody's sending you get well soon wishes, Grandpa.
Yeah,
Someone
well.
Yeah,
said,
God bless.
someone said, get Scavenger on. Scavenger has a invite in his DMs if he wants to join in, but he might just be chilling, smoking a blunt, and
Smoking a fatty.
he got the bong going,
crushing a Keystone Light. You know him. Smashing cans off his forehead. Love Scavenger.
I was hoping Scavenger could come in just so we could have a really bullish person on here to fight with me. Yeah. I know a lot of people are really angry. A lot of people are really angry after my two videos today. I wanted someone.
What did you do? What'd you do in your videos, Tony? I haven't seen
I
them
just
yet.
said the CEO's job is not to deliver you a MOAS tomorrow. Like, he's worried about strategically saving the company, and that's why this is happening. And that's why this is happening now. And a lot of people are upset right now, and rightly so. I get it, because they've been under the impression for a year and a half by listening to an echo chamber of each other that Adam Aaron was going to deliver them a MOAS. And that's not ever been something I've preached on this channel. I've always said he's doing his job, and if he does it right, we will get a stock squeeze, because there won't be a reason for shorts to stay in the play. But when I haven't made a video in a month or two, and these people don't watch me on live, so they don't really hear that on a regular basis. They just hear each other saying 9 billion synthetic shares, and Gary Gensler is working to make sure the squeeze happens, and Adam Aaron sent a tweet out, and I just decoded it, and it says MOAS tomorrow. Like, come on. That's fine if you want to believe that, but all the people that believe that now are just having a little reality check that maybe that was not all correct. And now they're, instead of like checking themselves, they're getting mad at me for pointing out what I've been saying for 18 months.
Tony, it's T900. T900. We're at T300. We got to wait 600 more trading days.
Someone said, "Please don't ever make that bong noise." That was a horrible bong noise. I'll grant you that.
That's pretty rough. Pretty rough.
Yeah. Adam Aaron
A little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
So, T, real quick, let me just ask you this. So, someone asked. Actually, it's from the. Jesus, how do I keep doing this? Keep losing it. Is it possible to sell shorts? Someone says, is it possible to sell with the shorts?
No, it's not. They want to take you to zero, man. There is no look, guys, look, I'm gonna keep it real. We either all win.
I don't think that's what I was looking for.
Lose. It's all or nothing with the shorts. They're here to take you out, or we have to take them out. And the best way to do that is rising price.
Owning the float says Grandpa Barney. I don't know if he's really there being your personal nurse, but he's offering to be there with no skirt.
Well, there you go,
Grandpa Barney.
That's what I'm talking about.
Massalorian, do you agree with me when there's no reasoning with a short, man?
I don't think so. But there's really no reasoning with the long either, because people have tried to reason with me for 2 years now, and it's not working.
They literally, I mean, yes, the shorts, the heavy shorts are convinced it's going to a penny, going bankrupt.
Right.
And why are they convinced that? Because of the debt load. And so, I'm just resigned to the fact right now, if I'm going to stay in this play, I've got to allow the company to do something to raise cash and address that debt, or we're never getting these fucking leeches off our back.
It seems like it's pointing in that direction.
Can you get me like 3 other drink up there?
All right, I'm gonna grab Scarlett something, a tasty beverage. Hang on one second. She's been patiently waiting on the couch, and I guess she's getting thirsty. Y'all carry on. Pick out a good comment.
Sure.
Pick out a good one. All right, send in the good questions because Tony's gone.
Steven, you go ahead. Yeah, you take it.
We're good to go. Tony's gone. It's free roam now. We took over, me and Max.
We just can't talk politics. That's all.
No politics. Okay. Let me see. Got to send in the good questions.
Yeah, pick a good one.
Hold on, let me find them. Let me see. A lot of T90, T900 shit. Gotta get past all the T90 first.
Yeah, we can hop over those.
Hop over them. Grandpa Barney, I really do hope that you come to a speedy recovery. I recently just got over a cold myself, so best luck to you, my man. Sufyan, my buddy, how high will AMC go? He's just being funny. Sufyan, you're my buddy, man.
Sufyan,
let's get a beer sometime.
I'll tell you this, Steven, sorry. I'm seeing Scavenger's comment. Someone's saying in the comments here, hedges don't follow the rules anyways. And, that's something we got to take into consideration here, because, as much as we are speculating here on what's going to happen, if these two things pass and they come to fruition, and this stock gets diluted, even though we are reducing the size of the float, right, the incentive for the shorts to start following the rules at that point is something that concerns me. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I think that's why I've tried to stay away from that term of MOAS, because
right,
I still think that the squeeze is possible and a good one. I just think that this course takes a MOAS out of it. And there's a possibility that's what we're looking at. And we'll still get a squeeze, but it won't be as hard or volatile or, violent as it might have once been.
Right? Well, I understand that point of view. I mean, at the same time, though, Mass, I feel like whenever you restrict the float, like if you just keep it basic, the more you restrict the float, like assuming that we all hold our position and do all the 8 stuff.
That's another assumption. Yep.
Right. That's an assumption. 140 million is squeezed territory for a float. Assuming that all the cards fell our way, like what Tony says, loaded options chain, everything else, I think you're more likely to see higher numbers with a restricted float, regardless of split or no split, or conversion or no conversion. It doesn't matter. If the float is restricted, that's what it all comes down to. So I don't want to get too much into the vote because Tony said so, but overall it's a lot easier to acquire higher prices if you have a smaller share count.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
What did I miss?
We were just talking about are the shorts gonna, play ball once if this goes through. We're just kind of shooting the breeze, saying if it does go through, are the shorts gonna start playing ball, or are they just gonna keep up with the same shit they've been doing, right?
Good question. Sufyan, what's up, buddy?
What's up?
Hey,
Jordan
Suf.
Kimmery says that it's not 140 million. I watched a video of Adam Aaron speaking to a shareholder at a movie theater, and he confirmed that it is going to be about 140 million. So
100, 140, 150, somewhere in that range.
yeah, give or take. I mean, there's no hard numbers before a proxy, obviously.
Six Sun, do I still think we're going to have a squeeze? Six Sun, my belief has always been this, Six Sun, we got to have a high short interest, a high cost to borrow, and a catalyst. Under those conditions, yes, I think we can have a squeeze. I'm just not
24
seeing all
the
of
money.
those line up.
24 the money. Bezos lost 100 billion in wealth in 2022. I'm glad that's going to change. I think in the next 10 years. 24 the money. I'm working on a video about that right now. It's amazing how much retail and brick and mortar stores are getting just throttled with retail stolen goods, and it's almost tripled in the last 5 years. Retail losses from stolen goods. I think Amazon and any other company that's going in that direction with direct to home buying power and the ability to get product out to people's homes is just going to be so dominant in the future. I think they were saying we've gone from 700 malls in 1989 to less than 150. No, I'm sorry. From 1,500 to 700 in the last 5 years. We've lost almost 50% of the malls in the U.S. 50% of brick and mortar. That's a lot of retail space, a lot of jobs, and a lot of money that is now going to, to your doors delivery services. So just keep your eye on that.
Scavenger says, even without a MOAS, which I don't think will not happen. We got a double negative there. AMC, in my opinion, is valued much higher. I would agree with that, Scavenger, if we can get some of the debt paid off. He says, look at Netflix debt. Yeah, I'll do that, Scavenger. I need to do a good comparison of Netflix financials to something like AMC, especially now that they've been brought down a few notches.
Vince D, what's going on, brother? Good evening. Hey, bro.
All right, what time are we at?
You guys been on for a while?
We started about 2.5 hours ago. We'll go about 8 more minutes.
Sounds good to me.
So get your questions in. We're trying to answer as many questions as we can tonight. I'm waiting for all those people that are trolling me on Twitter to come in and ask questions, but for whatever reason, they never show up. I posted about Avatar, the chart of the Avatar. They're like, yeah, but you still need to tell them that AMC sucks. I'm like, my post was about Avatar. What the fuck does that have to do with the pros and cons of AMC?
AMC sucks, but I'm still holding.
Like if you want to hear
was-
if you want to hear me talk about AMC, come here and ask a question. I'll do my best to answer it. I'm live many times a week, but they pick out the most random things. So, you're not telling them the whole story. The story was about Avatar, you dumbass.
By the way, T, on Monday night, did you have a bunch of people on your live coming over from a Rant's channel to roust you?
Not that I noticed. Not that I noticed.
Man, the GME Money Millionaires, they are just all about AMC right now. They just can't stop talking about it or uploading videos about it. It's insane. Just remember who keeps you afloat out there.
How often do you start your videos with "Hello, future millionaires"?
Never.
But you're pumping a stock, huh?
No, never. No.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if you start off every video with "Hello, future millionaires," you're implying something.
Man,
sounds like advice.
Sounds like a pumper to me.
Moving on. I
don't want to give negative people any attention. It's not worth our time. All right. Blair says, I'm hoping to get out in the green. I think all of us are there with you, Blair. Habitual line holder says, if buying pressure was consistent as the fucking bitching and complaining, we'd be mo-assing right now. That's actually a good point. Like, I talk about this often, that right now, people that are buying and holding, if you're buying and holding, you're an observer. The people that are doing the buying and selling every day are the ones setting the price. So it is unfortunate that the stimmy money ran out and people loaded up at high prices and they're out of bullets right now. But hey, it is what it is. When an appropriate one happens, people will find money. I'm not worried about that.
Tony, in one of your upcoming videos, are you going to talk about stocks that were similar to AMC that did a reverse split and it worked favorably?
I'm going to do a video on stocks in the last 3 years that have over $1 billion market cap that did reverse splits.
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
That's good.
Hallie says, not sure if you saw my note earlier. This was to your question, Massalorian, I think. Cineplex owns the Canadian theaters traded under CGX.tour on the TSX. AMC did try and come to Canada, but failed, starting the sell-off in 2012. Yeah, I don't know the whole history of Canada and theaters.
Okay. I was just looking at a map the other day of Vancouver, and I saw Odeon Theaters, and I'm like, what the? I'm like, why is everyone saying there's no AMCs in Canada? So it must just be a separate entity then. Okay. Thank you, Hallie.
Someone said, can FINRA U3 halt AMC stock? I don't know about a U3 halt. I mean, I know what happened with MMTLP, and I'm watching that whole saga play out. And I know there's a lawsuit, and we'll follow that and see what happens. But I mean, one of my big concerns in any market decimating type run up is that they'll pull another GME January 2021 type situation. Margin calls to the brokers, halts. Yes, that is a concern that I don't discount. And another reason why I try, unless I'm saying it jokingly, I don't use the word MOAS, because I think that the powers that be will shut this off at some point. So my plan for me personally, this is not financial advice, in any run up of any stock is to get my money out at a profit that I'm happy with. And if you want to hold for, 1,000 on Redbox or 100,000 on AMC, then you do you. I'm not giving price targets for that reason, because whatever happens, I don't want to be responsible. I'm going to get my money on any run up of a momentum or a squeeze stock. And sometimes I'll leave money on the table. That's fine.
Tony, I need 1,000 on Meagle.
Meagle.
I mean, I don't know another way to say that, but there's a reason why I don't use the word MOAS, and it's because I don't trust anybody in charge up there on Wall Street. to let it get to any number that people have been putting out on their videos for the last 18 months.
You know, a lot of people asked me like over a year ago why I never made the name Mo Assalorian instead of just Massalorian. And I was like, man, because I don't know if I don't know if a MOAS is a guaranteed. Put that in my name. Now I'm attached with that word forever, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm not 100% positive on it, then I'm not going to get cocky and put it in the name of my channel. Glad I didn't do that.
Right.
At least not yet.
I'll be done here in 2 minutes.
But this ain't over yet, so I might be biting my words. We'll see.
Peter says, have we ever opened up the stream to a space call? We haven't, Peter. There's just too many trolls on space calls and people that we don't know. I mean, you can come here and ask questions. I don't really know that I care to do space calls. I've seen a lot of them go bad really quick. Same reason I don't really debate people on Twitter. It's like I'm not on Twitter for debates. You can't have a debate with 140 characters. Come here and ask the question. I'll talk to you for an hour. What is your opinion on AMC's management selling $880 million over the last 2 years and not buying any shares? Is that the total of what they sold? I have never added it up.
That seems high, but
it seems high. But whatever the number is, maybe that's right. Maybe it's not. I've said my opinion on that. It's not a great look. I'll grant you that. But I will tell you, as someone who came from the corporate world, and the bulk of my income was from granted options, that I understand why they're doing it. If the bulk of your pay, which is true for the executives at AMC, is in granted shares or granted shares and options, the reason the companies do that is so that your interests in moving the company, to better financials, better earnings per share are aligned with the shareholders. And so that is the right they have to do that. Would I prefer to see them buying shares, showing some faith in the company? 100%, right there with you. But what did I do when I was in the corporate world and I had $1 million in share options? I sold them every time I had vesting, because the vast majority of my wealth at that time was tied up in one company's stock. And for me, that is not a reasonable position to be in. I don't want all of my net worth tied in one company. Even though I love the company, I worked there 15 years. I had a blast. I believed in their products, made a lot of money, but I come from the old school of don't have all your eggs in one basket. So I'm not going to cast stones at them. If you've never been in that position, I understand that you don't get it, and it sounds shitty that they did that. But far be it from me to cast stones, because I did the same thing. You guys have any comments, Stephen, Mass?
Nope, that's it for me.
Shirley was saying they need an AMC in Vancouver. On Low Heat Highway, they're going to put one.
Right.
Shirley, if you wait.
Yeah.
I'd like to see AMC management buying, and I'd like to see them do some stock, what's the word, where they grant stock to employees.
Yeah.
Also, frontline workers. I'd like to see Adam take a pay cut or a bonus cut and distribute that out in some fashion to the frontline workers and the middle line workers. That's what I'd like.
Adam's overpaid. We got to call it how we see it.
A little bit.
He is overpaid.
Table Rock guy, Marcus, welcome, man. Welcome to the channels.
All right. We're at 11 o'clock my time, midnight East Coast. Stephen, I guess you could, since it's only 9 of your time, you can just carry on. But
9? Oh, yeah.
Keep on rocking in a free world, baby. Do it.
Yeah.
I promised Scarlett I wouldn't be on for 4 hours tonight. I'm going to try and stick to that.
Do what you got to do.
And tomorrow's yet another trading day. And I've got some more videos I need to get done tomorrow. So you'll be hearing more from me. I'll be on the Discord for those of you that are there throughout the day while I'm sitting here working on videos and taking care of the wife. So, Massalorian, thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you, Mass.
Steven, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks to,
Thank
did
you,
we have
Tony.
any mods?
Thank you,
Did
Steven.
we have
Thank
any
you to
mods in here
my
tonight?
yeah, my mods. Yeah, Prometheus, Adrian,
Cool.
Javi, and Lucy. Thank you guys for
Oh yeah,
modding tonight.
Javi. I remember seeing Javi.
Cool.
Grandpa
Thank you, guys.
Barney, thank you. Yuka, thank you. To all the members of the channel,
Grandpa Barney, get
thank
better.
you for your support. It means a lot, really, to us, you guys, with all the
Yeah.
trolling and the negativity we got to deal with. It means a lot to know that at least some of you support us, and you're looking for someone to provide you, even if you don't always like it, as Grandpa Barney says. Tony, I don't always like what you say,
Yeah.
but I've learned to listen to it because you try and keep it fact based and non emotional. So that's what we're going to continue to do here, and I know these two gentlemen feel the same way, and I appreciate them. And to everybody else, most of you guys, if you can have an adult conversation, you're welcome to come on the channel anytime. I mentioned to Frankie, he was welcome to come on today, but I never saw a comment from him back that he wanted an invite. So, and for those of you who have gone attack mode, well, you're off the list, unfortunately. We gotta deal with adults in the big world. We can all have different viewpoints. We can all agree or disagree, but at the end of the day, we need to treat each other like humans. We all have one end goal. There's no reason for name calling or infighting or making videos, talking shit about somebody. Let's just talk about the due diligence and get to the fucking finish line. We're not all going to agree. That's okay.
No, we're all on the same team. We all disagree usually in the beginning, but then by the end of it all, we're all on the same page.
I can tell you, like these two guys on the screen and many of the people in the Discord, we disagree all the time on different stuff. KC and I disagree on stuff. Pantheon and I disagree on stuff. Bigums and Marcel and myself disagree on stuff, but we all know what the game is. We all know what the end goal is, and it's okay. Everybody's cool with it, at least, unless they're talking shit about me off camera, which is fine. If they want to do it off camera, set up a target and go shoot it with your 9 or shotgun or whatever. But in public, it's best to have civil discourse like normal adults. I feel like that art of debating topics has really been lost on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what though? Just remember that if we're still coming on here, it means we're still holding. So we're all in the same boat. So thank you guys for coming on and support us. We really we need it just as much as you guys do. I mean, if not more, right? We need the support. So we appreciate all the love. Big time.
Amen. All right, guys. I'm going to sign off here, and we will catch you on the next one.
See you, everybody.
Night, guys. Love you.